Welcome to Key Digital University. Today, we're going to learn all about the KD-IP922 and KD-IP822 encoders and decoders. Let's take a look.
Today we'll be looking at our KD-IP922s and 822 systems in our Enterprise AV over IP product line. So here in our product family you can see the 922 encoders and decoders as well as the 822 encoders and decoders. We'll give you a second here to look at the cross-reference here between the different models. The 922 encoders and decoders are fully loaded, while the 822 encoders and decoders do have a little bit less connectivity but are a little bit more cost effective. So some of our key features in the 922 series is our custom I/O system build, video wall processing built in, motion JPEG 2000 compression, PoE with redundant power. All power comes directly from the managed network switches, no extra power supplies needed. Also audio de-embedding with audio control, Compass Control Pro built right in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. 4K Ultra HD resolution at 10.2 gigabytes per second. And 100 meters in and out extension at all resolutions, HDCP 2.2, and it's also KD app ready if you don't need to do any other control, and that's available from the App Store. And then also USB configuration, which we will discuss here in a bit as well. So here's the front and back of the encoder and front and back ports of the decoder. So on our encoders we have HDMI pass-through on the encoders only. So that allows you to take your source into the encoder that you want to feed, but you also have a local pass-through for a local monitor or confidence monitor, and all of that connects directly into the gigabit switch, which is what does our virtual matrixing and etc. So on the decoder side you also have an extra HDMI port, which is for a local source, meaning even though the decoder will be getting sources from all the other encoders, you can have a local source if someone comes in and wants to do a presentation just on a display and you want to go right in, and you can do that, and makes that handy for you as well. And as you can see, those decoders plug right into the network switch as well, and then obviously HDMI out to your local monitor. Both the 922 encoders and decoders also have audio de-embedding with 2-channel audio. You can do balanced or unbalanced. That's on a 6-pin Phoenix connector, as you can see here. And so you can, as I said, do unbalanced or balanced audio output on either the encoder or the decoder on the 922 units. There's a close-up look of your 6-pin Phoenix connector plug. Some more features in the audio de-embedding is audio control. We have volume control, mute, delay up to 150 milliseconds, some EQ control for bass, mid, and treble, as well as balance control, but no format conversion. We can also feed our own amplifier, our AMP 220 you see here in the drawing, or you can feed any other professional amplifier, commercial amp, etc., and which can feed ceiling speakers in your room. We also have USB 2.0 connections, both on the encoders and decoders. Maximum 15 input devices via the hub. Data transfer is continuous. Maximum bandwidth of 127 megabits per second, and KVM non-continuous control, and no webcam support on that. So here is the encoder where you can plug your computers into, as well as the 2 USB ports that you can plug your KVM into on the opposite end. Here's an example of how that works. Bring that up. Here we have 3 operation stations with keyboard, monitor, and mouse. and can control as many PCs as you want, but in this configuration we have 6 PCs, so you can pull up any one of those PCs on your operations station monitor via KVM control over USB. One of the most exciting features on the IP922s and 822s, but especially on the 922 units, is our video wall processing. All that's built on to the units, no extra processors required. As you can see here, we have a 6x4, so 24 panel, but you can go up to 16x16 on the 922 units. Pretty fascinating there. So video wall processing, as I mentioned, here's an example where we've got the 6x4, but we're running a 4x4 video wall on the right and 2 2x2s on top of each other on the left. So one decoder required per display, as I mentioned before, up to 16x16 video wall. We also offer screen rotation of 0, 180, and 270 degrees. You can do main and sub video walls as we show here on the right. Also, this is app ready, as we mentioned before, so you don't even have to use Compass Control to control your video wall. You can use our free KD app off of the App Store. We have dual LAN ports as well on the encoders as well as the decoders. They are 10 and 100 base T up to 100 megabits per second, network pass-through, and PoE support. We also have 3 multifunction ports on both the encoders and the decoders, which can be either IR or RS-232. Usages can be for third-party control gateway. For example, if you've got a control system other than our Compass Control that is IP only, then you can send an IP command to one of our devices, and then with these devices we can send out IR or RS-232 out of these 3 control ports on either the encoder or the decoder. You can also use our Compass Control platform, obviously, as well as it has an open API to use other control platforms, and it also offers control extension. So, as we mentioned before, usage modes, third-party control gateway, such as Compass, AMX, Crestron, Control4, etc., or through IR and RS-232. So we've got IP control or RS-232 or IR control. Usage modes with the Compass Control Master Controller. Here's an example of that system. And as I said, that is built onto the 922 encoders and decoders, no extra controllers required. Here we're controlling video, audio, projection screen, thermostat, security panel, dimmable lights, etc., projector on, off, bringing in cable, digital signage, as well as a music streamer. So you can see how versatile, and 8 satellite receivers. Very versatile, only using the 922 encoders and decoders, a managed gigabit switch, as well as an audio, DSP, and amplifier. Very easy to configure. Very, very powerful. We have EDID control on the encoder only. So you plug your HDMI source in, and you can force the EDID to match what you want it to be in case you're having any issues with your HDMI source sending you not quite stable information in regards to EDID. And as you can see, we have pretty much every EDID resolution option here on our little control dial. So we have downscaling per decoder, meaning you can have a 1080p display as well as a 4K display in the same system without any issue. We just pass through the 4K because that's the native resolution, and we downscale for any that need to be 1080p, easily set up within the system. Now we move to the 822 encoders and decoders. As we mentioned, they have a little less functionality and a little less price, so I think you'll like that. You can mix and match these with the 922s. So even if you have video wall that exceeds 4 displays, which the 822 will handle up to 4 displays, but if you need more than that, you can always put the 922 decoders in the system for that, but use the 822 encoders, etc. So they mix and match. They have a little less connectivity, but optimized price. Still a custom I/O system build. As we mentioned, it'll do video wall processing, but only up to 4 displays. So you can do a 2x2, 1x4, 4x1, etc. Motion JPEG 2000 compression, redundant power over PoE. Also has compass control built in. Same 4K Ultra HD resolution as the 922s. Same as the 922s on the 100 meters in and out extension. Also the HD-CP 2.2. It is also KD app ready, and has a USB port for configuration service only. So here you can see the front and back of the encoder, as well as the front and back of the decoder. And that is your 822 encoder and decoder. And here are the comparisons. As you can see on the video wall, up to 16 by 16, and you do the math on the panels. And then on the 822s up to 2 by 2, I can do that math, that's 4 panels. And the encoder HDMI pass-through, yes on both. On the decoders, local HDMI in, yes on the 922, but no on the 822s. The other difference, 3 IR/RS-232 ports on the 922s, while only 2 on the 822s. Local audio in, only on the 922 encoders and decoders. Audio Deembedding and preamp only on the 922s as well. 2 LAN ports on the 922s, while only 1 on the 822s. And USB KVM is only available on the 922s as well. That concludes our overview of the IP922 and 822 systems. Thank you for joining us at Key Digital University for our Enterprise AV over IP solutions.